Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Power of Surrender with Hugh, where every day we take a card from the deck, which is called The Power of Surrender by Dr Judith Orloff. And each day we're taking one card from the deck, and I'm discussing with you to give you some inspiration, some food for thought in these challenging times we're living through at the moment. Today's card is a very interesting one. It is Surrender Negative Thinking. Interesting card. Now, there's a card that was coming up last night when I was doing a weekly live video that I do on Hugh Readings every Friday, 8 p.m. UK time. And it was the idea, it's a law of attraction idea that basically the more you think about things that are unwanted, the more unwanted things that come into your life. So the whole basis of wanting to surrender negative thinking is because the more you focus on the things that you don't want and talk about them and gripe about them and whine and moan about them, the more you're actually bringing things of that energy or vibration into your life. It is a strange twist on the law of attraction, but it's just the way it is. If you put your attention on the things that you really want and you're talking positively, and you have a positive mindset, a mindset of appreciation, you find that things of that vibration or energy come into your life also. So it's the things you think about, the words you speak, the energy you put into the world is very, very important. So let me read this card, what it says to you specifically. And it says, you have control over your thoughts. Let me just stop there. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. We have control over our thoughts. Somebody said, well, I feel this, I feel the way that I do. There's nothing I can do about it. And it's like, no, actually you can. You can choose to think different thoughts. I'm not saying that it's easy to do that. Of course it's not. And depending on the situation, it could be a real challenge to just think more positive thoughts. But the most important idea here is the idea that you have control over your thoughts. You have the ability to be able to decide, I don't want to think about this anymore. Because this is where it comes down to you say, okay, me thinking all this negative stuff and focusing on negative things, is that really helping me? If you're asking yourself that question and then you come to the conclusion, no, it's not, then there you go, you're changing your thoughts. You have control over those thoughts. Again, I'm not saying it's easy for some people, but it's good to remember we do have control, and that should be hopeful. When negative thoughts surface, say, thank you for sharing, and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. And that's so true and so important. If we have a negative feeling or negative thoughts come up, we should acknowledge that, because we're human beings and sometimes we're not perfect. We're not going to be, last night, I'll give you an example. I was having a very strange time. I went for a walk down by the Thames. What a beautiful thing to be able to do. And I was listening to music on my phone. And for some reason, the music kept stopping. I couldn't figure out what was going on. And it was starting to bother me, because I'm not trying to build a space shuttle here. This is my thing when technology gets under my skin. I always say out loud, I'm not trying to build a space shuttle here. Like, what is going on? And so I went to sit down on a park bench by the Thames. I didn't have my glasses on. I didn't realize there wasn't just like water on the bench. It was like a giant puddle on the bench. When I sat down, I just was absolutely soaked. And I was very upset for a minute. I was really mad. And and so, we all have, and so then of course, a couple of seconds later, after I calmed down, I go like, come on, it's not like somebody just robbed you or somebody stabbed you, or there's far worse things that could happen than sitting in a wet puddle, freezing cold, but still, a lot worse things could happen. So there's a period of time that we have to adjust when we have negative thoughts, and I certainly had some negative thoughts in my mind after I sat on that on that bench. So the reason I'm using that example is because I'm trying to say to you, I'm not coming on here trying to say that I'm perfect, I have it all figured out. We're all learning this as we go. What I can say is that I have been around on this planet for a little bit, and so I have experience and perspective on it all. So, for example, a few minutes later after that, you have that, you're talking to yourself saying, okay, that happened, not sure why that happened, but it's okay, a lot worse could have happened. And so it's all about the ability to be able to turn it around when you have the negative thoughts, because otherwise what happens is you have one negative thought which leads to another negative thought which leads to another negative thought, and it's just spinning, circling the drain, going downhill. So what I'm talking about here, what the card is talking about, is when you get those negative thoughts, say, okay, got it, I understand, but now I'm going to make a conscious choice to switch off and think about something else. I've been saying this in some of my other shows before, and I'm going to say it on here absolutely unashamedly. This is a non-political statement. Please stop watching the news all the time. Please stop doing it. Why would I say something like that to you? How am I supposed to know what's going on with COVID? How am I supposed to know what's going on with the politics? You can get that information without watching the news all the time. And no offense to the people who work on the news, because they're just doing their job. But how the news gets you to, hooks you into watch and to read articles is by baiting you with negative headlines, dramatic negative headlines. It's just the way that it works. And I've seen it firsthand. I've seen people who are watching the news all the time, and they just become cranky and irritable and angry, and it's just not constructive. And again, why am I saying this? I'm saying it to you because we're talking about when you have a negative thought, to be able to say, no, I'm not going to think about that, because that's, it's just not constructive. Like I'm going to make a video this week about, I may actually make it today, about the political situation in America. I'm going to remind people in the video and go back through all the presidents. Jimmy Carter, the worst president ever. Those, lines for gas, for petrol. There's the gas crisis. Then there was the crisis with the Iranian hostages. And, he's the worst president ever. And then Ronald Reagan comes in. And then by the time Ronald Reagan was finished, people were saying he's the worst president ever. Some people, not everyone. And then we have Herbert Walker Bush. And then we have Clinton, and then we have Bush W, and then we have Obama. I think I missed Clinton in there. I did, but the point is that presidents will come and go. Life will continue. There are checks and balances in place. People try to make it sound like if Biden becomes president, we're going to become a communist state. If Trump becomes president, it's the end of the world. I'm sorry, my friends, but that's not how it works. There is a Senate and a Congress to check the president, and so they don't have unlimited powers. So, and if you don't like Trump, then he's going to be gone in a couple of months, or he's going to be gone 4 years from now, and life will continue. If Joe Biden becomes president, it may be disappointing for Trump supporters, but it's not the end of the world. In 4 years, there'll be another election. So I think people need to have more perspective and stop getting sucked into this idea that it's the end of the world. Who gets elected as president, it really isn't. We have to try and have perspective, and when we get those negative thoughts of it's the end of the world, we really need to check ourselves and go, no, I'm going to take those negative thoughts, I'm going to push them away, and I'm going to think more positive thoughts. Imagine, my friends, if every person could do that. Every person could do this and extract themselves from the hate, extract themselves from the fear, and really, as it says, simply surrender negative thinking. I would say to anyone, if you find this hard to swallow, try it. If you do watch the news a lot, turn it off for a day or two. See if it affects your mood. Try every time you get a negative thought to catch yourself and switch it to a more positive thought. It's going to be really challenging. I know people who like whining and bitching, complaining is a way of life for them. So it's very difficult to make that switch. But I'd say try it. Try it for a day. Try for an hour every day and see if you can do it. See how it affects you. And don't just take my word from it, experience it yourself and see the power of surrendering negative thinking. And instead of going upstream, you're now going downstream with the universe, with your higher power, with the way that the world and the energy of the world works. And if you're going downstream, things are happening, good things are happening, things are flowing. When you're going upstream, you're pushing against, that's when you're in negative mode, when you're in fear, and it doesn't help you. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Does it help you moving forward? It doesn't. And that's it. And as I said last night in my live video, don't blame me. These are the laws of the universe. I'm just reporting them to you. So, my friends, I hope you got some inspiration and food for thought with this card today. Very, very interesting. Surrender negative thinking. I will be back again tomorrow with another episode of The Power of Surrender with Hugh. Please check out also my daily cards on Instagram. I pick 3 cards for you every day for your inspiration on Instagram as well at Hugh Readings. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.